Welcome back. In this lecture we will paint a forest in front of the mountains and a cool hangman tree just for decoration. Let's make a new layer. Ctrl, Shift, N. And name it Trees in Front of the Mountains. We need a brush and let's go for the Pine Forest group. But feel free to use one of your own forest brushes, it doesn't matter. We roll out the library and let's choose this greenish grey color to start with. This is an in-between middle of the road color and we always can go darker or lighter, we shall see. Now before we start painting, let's do a little repair. We go to the mountain left layer. I thought we decreased the opacity in the last lesson, but I probably forgot to save. That's looking better. Don't forget to go back to the layer, that's really important. And then we start scratching and see what happens. Well, it's not too bad. Those trees are vanishing into the faraway mist, and I put my flow and opacity down to around 79–75%. See what works for you, by the way. If you want it stronger, just go ahead. So now and then we can go a bit darker to avoid evenness. I know I said it before, but in nature are never two objects even. So we play with dark and light, size, and I keep on repeating, always change the pressure on the brush. And believe me, here is where the magic happens. And of course we love magic. You will see. In the corner we can make the overall tone a bit darker and see how it looks like. Even better. I know we speed it up a bit, otherwise you might fall asleep. Because we make the same movement all the time. Maybe a bit boring, but it's gonna be more exciting, I promise. Now let's go to the other side of the canvas, and it might be nice to raise up this part of the forest. It still looks a bit like watercolor. Let's make a new layer and call it Trees Layer 2 Darker. We take indeed a darker piece of green and now it's getting more power. And the first row of trees gives the impression of a kind of background. It doesn't matter if we go over the edge of the foreground, that will be covered later. Let's make a new layer and call it Trees Background. Background? Again? No. Yes, watch this. We put the opacity down and go into that soft background mist. And now you might understand why we did so much mist at the foot of the mountain. And I know it's pretty time consuming, but the result is amazing cool. It's starting to look like a fairy tale forest. An animator could place here a castle in front of it, or maybe a village with gnomes, or a spooky abandoned house. So give your fantasy a free run while you're busy and make up little stories. Now let's do a few trees here in the corner, and on this part is too much opacity, so let's paint some extra trees over there, and now it's looking better. For the contrast with the lower foreground shrubs, I would like to make this corner a bit higher and darker and place a few more trees. Now let's do something else. I got a cool idea. Let's place a spooky tree in that misty forest. We got here a whole bunch of free trees, and let's open the group and choose one. No, too full. Spooky, this is what I want. And oops, I almost forgot the color. Let's choose this ochre gray tone, and now we have to aim and click yes in one time. Good. And the right size. Now let's go to edit, scroll down to free transform, and let's sink the tree a bit down into the forest ground. We created a spooky hangman's tree, where witches, gnomes and goblins can dance around in the misty moonlight, singing their creepy songs or whatever they do. I told you little stories will develop your fantasy. Okay, back to reality. We make a new layer and call it Trees Dark Foreground. I just want more power. I find it still too weak. And yes, if you want to be a background painter, you need patience, and I mean a lot of patience. And this is the moment you have to walk the extra mile. This layer on layer technique was already done by the Dutch masters 500 years ago, but then with transparent oil paint. And you must admit it works. We created a forest what's almost 3D, and because of all the layers, animators working in 3D programs can create extra space between those layers. You can try it yourself even with a program like Cartoon Animator. We have enough dark trees for now, and let's create a new layer and call it Mist in front of the trees. We need a new brush. We open the brush panel and let's choose a super soft brush. We didn't use that one before, but I think it will work, certainly with this very light grayish tone. It might be a bit lighter. Let's see how that works. If you think afterwards it is too much, we always can go down with opacity, and this is the advantage of working with layers. And we are hovering over the front side of the trees, leaving a very thin spray of mist at almost nothing. In every forest is always a cold damp, and it makes it all more natural. Oh, by the way, don't forget to save your work so now and then. And let's make a new layer and call it Shrubs in front of trees. And then let's pick the ochre gray tone, and we need another brush. Now any shrub brush provided by Photoshop will do, so try a few and see which one you like. This one is doing pretty good for now. Let's try another color too, and don't push, just scratch the canvas, in this case the screen of course. Keep it all soft. I try to change between ochre and green all the time as much as I can. See what you like, but my advice is try to make as many changes in color as you can. In the meantime, let me tell you that we don't use the fancy effect tricks yet, and I mean multiply, lighten, making clipping mask and so forth. We will do this for sure later, but first we go back to the plain basics like painting with oil paint. So no fancy stuff yet, but it will come. The only trick we use for now is the library. And the library is so handy. Just click on it and we can change colors in the blink of an eye. Just keep on improvising and follow your own taste of colors. And the cool thing is that using this method of one layer upon another, it keeps the impression that this forest is far, far away. At the front, where it's more light, we can go a bit lighter and keep the shrubs and grasses low. As you can see, I keep on playing with dark and light and pressure. Mixing ochre tones with the green tones gives always a natural look to underwood. There's lots of dead wood, fallen trees, old tree trunks, leaves, which are certainly not green. Let's do a few more shrubs in the corner. First more dark, and over that a few light leaves, and then it's time to take a look at our work from a distance. Pretty good. I think we can start at the foreground. We will see you in the next lesson.